ladies, it's Natalie with Risen Legacy. I've had a couple girls ask me if I could do a video on an ombre, so I'm going to do that real quick. I am going to use two of the new blues we just released. They're both solids, and the royal blue is deep blue sea, and this beautiful other lighter blue is Pacific blue. So I wanted to have a nice contrast so that you can see exactly what is going on. So I have my swatch. Be sure you grab some of these brand new pink bottles we just released this week. If you haven't got them yet or heard about them, they are so stinking cute. I'm so in love. Party wand. I have these for sale on the website. I use a couple of them. I have three, actually, one for my light colors, one for my dark colors, and one for my glitters. As you can see, the darker ones, they do stain, and I just don't want to have, or be doing like a white nail and the blue come off in that. So I just kind of keep them separate. So go ahead and grab a couple of these. If you are out and about looking around on the website, I always start with my darker color, because when you're coming back and applying the other color that you're using, if you're covering up with the darker color, it's going to be a little bit harder to blend if for some reason you get a little bit further on the nail than you really wanted. So I start with the darker, and then I come back in with the lighter color of the ombre. And then you can do 2 coats. If for some reason you do mess up, ladies, you can always add just a thin layer of base coat between the 2 different colors, and then add like a super light glitter or some cute designs or something like that. So you can always fix it. I do have a little extra trouble when I'm trying to do use my left hand and do my right hand, due to it just doesn't, my finger just doesn't flick right. Like this one, like I can do fast, but this one I have to like concentrate on like tapping the party wand. So like I said, my left hand will always be really cute, fun, and then my right hand is always just a little bit calmer. We'll just say that. All right, I'm gonna grab my base coat and put it, let me move this activator totally out of the way. I'm gonna put it on the nail. Coat it pretty good. It looks like I'm putting a lot. I'm not. It's just a really big swatch, guys. It's one of those stiletto ones that I filed down. So I'm gonna grab my party wand. I'm going to start off with deep blue sea, and I'm going to tap it definitely towards the base of the nail, more towards there, and then kind of lightly start easing up towards the middle of the nail. Tap that off. While it's still wet, I'm going to grab Pacific blue and go back in with it on the other end. I'm going to call it the tip, and then start working my way back up. And can y'all see what I'm doing? Working my way back up. Let me move this. Blending it into the darker blue. Make sure I cover all of that. And we're going to do a couple coats of this. So just so you can see right now, that's kind of what we have going on. I'm going to let that dry for just a second. Dust it with the dust brush and repeat that exact same step. I am going to try to scoot up a little bit closer so y'all can see me. All right, again, take your base coat, coat it very well. If you get done, if you like coat it and you're doing your darker color and you get done getting it exactly how you want it, and the bottom part is dry, you can add another layer of the base coat just on that tip so that you can add some more of it. But so you can see I am tapping it on. Just getting it where I want it, making sure I got all sides and edges. I'm just going to come down a little bit more. I will actually add more base when I'm done with this one set so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to come back in with Pacific Blue, tap it where I want it. If you're doing this, girls, and you say you're doing this over like cupcake filter, a cupcake holder, or a coffee filter or something like that, if you're doing the two and you don't do them over your jar and you have like a mixture right here, you can always kind of just maneuver that to where it's all in kind of one spot, and put a base coat on your nail and then dip your nail into that and then come back out, and you'll have kind of that marbled look. So that's another option that you can do. So let me show you exactly what I meant by adding a little extra. So I did deep blue sea, it looks perfect. And then by the time I got down to the lighter blue, it wasn't as wet with the base coat. So you can kind of see right in this area, it's not a perfect blend. It's a little transparent because I went from the tip up with it. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of a base coat, kind of like where I want it to start. Add more base coat. And then I always, to make it blend a little bit better, I'll kind of wipe a little bit of the excess off in the middle, just kind of smearing that base coat up a little bit so that I don't have such a hard blend line. That way it kind of fades off. Does that make sense? I do that with my glitter as well. So it's not just all one thickness throughout the nail. Because if you're doing an ombre, you want it to fade. So kind of why I do that. So here's kind of what we got. I'm going to do one more coat so that you can, just so it's very, very, very bright. Because I need a little bit more of the lighter blue in the middle. I'm going to kind of just put a little bit of it. And then come back in. I just added just a little bit in the middle. So then I'm going to come back in with the darker one real quick. Make sure you don't have like a fan on or anything like that. That could be blowing it. Grabbing the blue again. The lighter blue. All right. This is what we got, girls. If you get it and you still think you have a very harsh line, again, I'm just going to add a very, very, very thin line of base coat just so you can see what I did. I just added a little thin line. I'm going to go in and just kind of spread it out and come back in. You can go so that you don't get so much. You go higher up and it'll have like a little bit of a better blending factor. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And then it's perfect. So I'm going to cap it in clear. I still want a little bit of turquoise coming in. So, not well, the lighter blue, not turquoise, but I'm gonna go further up. Perfect. Cap it in clear. It's just all about practice and playing around. That's when I said my right hand is always a little bit dull because it's a little bit, it's a lot harder for me to do it on my, using my non-dominant hand. But a little bit wet looking, so I'm just going to dip it again. Let that dry real quick. Throw some activator on it. Let that dry real quick. I will file and buff, put a